Today we have an epic battle of two titans in the boat propulsion industry. The venerable outboard engine and the Sterndrive or inboard outboard engine. We're going to look at these two titans to see which one is the better choice for you. Hi, I'm your host, Wayne the Boat Guy, and today we're going to take a look at these two engine types and figure out which one is the best one. And be sure to stick around to the end to find out some exciting twists and turns with which is the champion these days. Joining me today is another Wayne the Boat Guy. Welcome to this epic showdown, Wayne. Thank you very much. I'm really excited to be here. I have been looking forward to this for a very, very long time because each type of engine has its own distinct set of advantages. So let's get this started.
In this corner, weighing in approximately 780 pounds, Outboard Engines.
You know, Wayne, I have a real soft spot for the traditional outboard engine. An outboard engine where the engine hangs off of the back of the transom. You can always tell if a boat has an outboard engine because the engine hangs right off the back of the boat. There's the engine sitting up here in a shaft that goes straight down into the water where the prop is located. These engines hang there on the transom of the boat. Almost every smaller boat ever made has been powered by an outboard engine.
In this corner, weighing in approximately 950 pounds, Sterndrive engines.
Otherwise known as inboard outboard motors. You bring up some really great points, Wayne. But having recently purchased an inboard outboard boat myself, I'm really kind of partial to that type of boat. Inboard outboard boats, or Sterndrives, have the engine located inside of the back of the boat under a cover panel or seating area. They are almost always a repurposed car engine that is mounted inside of the boat with an outdrive mounted outside of the boat, connected through the transom. So the engine is mounted inboard while the drive unit is mounted outboard. So there you have the basics of these two types of engines. So let's get this battle started, shall we? This is where a Sterndrive is really going to shine. First of all, with the engine mounted down in the floor and often underneath of the seating area, it's usually much quieter than an outboard. You can easily pull a tube or water skier or even fish off the back of the boat without any engine in your way. And third, it makes a cleaner, more hospitable boat because with the engine tucked away down underneath, there's no clutter, there's no obstructions. So for day-to-day enjoyment, I personally think an inboard outboard boat is the clear winner. I have to agree. Those three areas are areas where Sterndrives typically have a distinct advantage over an outboard engine. I mean, we do have some quiet outboards and some noisier Sterndrives, but for day-to-day enjoyment, it's obvious why so many boats have been equipped with an inboard outboard engine over the last few decades. But I think things are going to turn around for outboards in round two. So our winner of round one, Sterndrives. When it comes to having to work on your engine or drive systems, in my opinion, an outboard engine cannot be beat. All you have to do is pop off the cowling, and there's everything right in front of you. Winterizing is a breeze, and most everything is right there at eye level. And if you have to replace your entire drive system, the whole thing can be lifted right off of the back of the boat and swapped right out. You're right. There is no doubt maintenance and repairs on an inboard outboard boat can be a real pain. I had a really hard time getting down into the areas where the drain plugs are located and contorting myself just to do routine maintenance. And thank you for not even bringing up the added dangers that a Sterndrive can add, like bellows that can leak causing your boat to sink, or the fact that you have to have a blower motor to ventilate the engine so there's no fire or explosion in the engine compartment. So clearly our winner of round two is outboards. And how are you liking this video so far? If you like this video, please go ahead and click the like button below. So right now we're even, with Sterndrives making a better environment for some situations, and outboards being generally better for repairs and maintenance. But let's talk about power. Years ago, the only way to get good power out of a recreational boat was through an inboard engine. Outboard motors were usually lacking in the power department. Sterndrives use a car or a truck engine mounted inboard, making it pretty straightforward to increase the horsepower for a faster and more powerful boat. In the 1980s and 90s, if you wanted power, it was coming from a sterndrive. But over the last few years, there has been a shift, and we've started to see more and more outboard engines outfitted to boats. It used to be rare to see 2 outboards fitted to a boat, but now there are many boats out there with multiple outboards mounted on the back. In addition, recent models have horsepower ratings that are easily in competition with inboard outboard engines, and 2 or even 3 outboard engines take up much less space than 2 inboard engines. And newer outboard engines have become even quieter and more fuel efficient, as well as being more fashionable. Many setups are designed to show off the fact that there are 5 big outboard engines hanging on the back. It's got a lot of visual appeal. So as manufacturers like Sea Ray start to offer outboard engines as well as inboard outboard engines on a lot of their recreational boats, I think we're going to start seeing less and less sterndrive boats on the market. If you're in the market and you're looking for a used boat, it's between 19 and 30 feet long. Common boats from the 1980s all the way through the 2010s used both inboard-outboard motors and outboard motors, with sterndrives being most common for the recreational ski-type boats and on larger boats, but outboards being more common on smaller boats and fishing boats. So if you're in the market for a used boat, there's definitely a lot to consider. So Wayne, do we have a clear winner? No, I have to say that it's really not very clear, because if you're going to be out on a lake and you're pulling tubes or water skiers and you don't do your own maintenance, or you really like a challenge, an inboard outboard is certainly a really great choice for that. But if you like the simplicity of an outboard motor, the easy upgradability, the tradition of an outboard motor, then an outboard engine is an obvious choice. So there's really no clear winner between these two. Well, there you have it. There are definitely pros and cons to both, and the landscape is changing. Personally, I don't think I'll ever own another inboard-outboard engine boat after the one I have no longer serves me. I hope it lasts me for a really, really long time. But with all the options out there and with all of the advances with outboard engines over recent years, including efficiency, weight reduction, and horsepower increases, and with electric options coming on the market all the time, who knows what we'll be able to get by the end of the decade. So, thank you, Wayne, and thank you, Wayne, and thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Here's a video selected just for you, and a playlist of videos similar to this one. Stay safe out there on the water.